Because it all ends here, except for MuggleCast. This is MuggleCast episode 233 for July 2nd, 2011. This week's episode of MuggleCast is brought to you by Hypable.com, a brand new entertainment website created by the staff of MuggleNet. Hypable is a MuggleNet for multiple fandoms, passionate, complete coverage for all the fandoms that we cover. Now with over 40 fandoms including Glee, True Blood, Breaking Bad, The Hobbit, Doctor Who, Merlin, and many more. Visit Hypable.com for news coverage you can count on. That's Hypable.com, Hypable.com. Welcome to MuggleCast, episode 233. We have arrived. It's been 5 or 6 years of podcasting for this. It's the final episode before the release of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. And it's going to be a different show today. Bit more relaxed, bit more chill. No chapter by chapter. We have to get everybody into the movie mood, or at least that's our excuse. Matt, Micah, Eric are here this week along with me. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, host.
Hello, Andrew.
Eric, in his attempt to create some extra show material, is podcasting today from his vehicle.
Yes. Not while operating my vehicle, but inside my vehicle. This is not a first.
Taking after Ben.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
I'm pulling a Ben.
Now you live in Illinois, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I know at least 12 states, it's against the law to podcast while driving, so
Ooh.
I don't think one of them is Illinois.
Not the beautiful land of Lincoln. We're all about freedom here, baby.
We podcast where we want. Okay, well, let's get into some news. There's been so much news this week, Micah, so we're not going to pick apart every little interview or whatnot, but we're going to talk about some things that are going on leading up to the release of the film on July 15th.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, there's just so much news. It would take probably 2 or 3 shows just to go through all of it bit by bit, but we want to talk a little bit about the Deathly Hallows Part 2 posters, billboards, everything that's showing up throughout the world, really. And, somebody pointed out that not a lot of them have the title of the movie in it, but I think everybody in these films is so recognizable that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it really speaks to the impact of the films. Every time I see another one of these posters, or these billboards, it just says it ends here. And I think about like the marketing behind that, how interesting that is, where they don't have to put Harry Potter. And I would love to speak to some like marketing expert about the thinking behind that, but I really appreciate it.
I'm sure somebody forgot. Somebody else is going to lose their job. They rolled out with these 15 posters and somebody's like, you know what it's missing? And he's like,
no.
Oh no. Yeah. I mean, you're right.
Forgot the title.
They're recognizable, but I still don't think you should be able to get away with it. I just don't like that idea. Because you know what? Everything Harry Potter does, Twilight does to follow it. And so pretty soon we're just going to have these huge posters of like Jacob shirtless, and we're all going to know what it's going to be.
Well, then it worked. Then the promotion worked.
Well, no, it's lazy advertising.
Oh. I think it's very artistic.
I think Eric's just trying to redeem himself from the last episode when he outed himself as a Twilight fan.
That too. What else is going on in the news, Micah?
We've gotten a lot of Deathly Hallows Part 2 clips this last week in particular, and it's interesting to see the feedback that we get. A lot of comments, a lot of tweets, and I'm wondering, Andrew, you wrote in the document that we have here, we're done talking about too much. And the fact that fans often say, well, are they going to leave any of the movie to the theaters? And, we got a look inside Gringotts. We got a look at the Chamber of Secrets. And these are things I think people don't necessarily want to see until they go to the theaters. But there's nobody that's telling them they have to press the play button.
Yeah, and I honestly hate that. Oh, they're showing too much. This happens with every movie.
Yeah.
But speaking about the clips, the Chamber of Secrets clip, I think that's the only actual clip. The Gringotts one was a featurette. That featurette is really good because yes, you do see new footage, but you also see lots of behind the scenes footage. And you see all the goblins, the actors playing the goblins, like all in one room, kind of getting all their makeup on at the same time. It's actually really interesting to see that process. And they also talked about the designing Gringotts and making it, really, big inside and just very,
So Andrew, maybe you can answer me then. What is the benefit of them showing this? I mean, behind the scenes stuff belongs in DVD features. We know that there are precious few DVD features for these Harry Potter films. Yet they release
because
these.
With every film they've released a featurette. Simple as that.
Oh, every other film before, so that makes it okay for them to release 5 times as many for.
It's not
the
5 times as more or many. They've always done 3 or 4 features.
I think people tend to forget how much they show on the previous film and think that this is the first time they've released so much.
Maybe it's not, but this is the last film. I'm telling you, what is the benefit, or I'm asking you, what is the benefit of them releasing all these key crucial scenes before the movie comes out? I mean,
you don't have to watch.
Also, fans tend to get really upset with it because they go on fan sites every day, and fan sites have to post everything that Warner Brothers posts.
Yeah, we're slaves to Warner Brothers.
So of course they're going to have everything that Warner Brothers releases on the fan sites. But if you're not a fan, or if you're just the general public, you're not seeing all those clips. You may see one clip completely.
That's true.
We need an alternative to the Harry Potter fan sites. A Harry Potter fan site that only posts what fans want to see and not what.
So basically, and in order to not be spoiled, fans of Harry Potter have to not be fans of Harry Potter when the movies are in promotional stage.
Yeah,
so
these clips are for fans, or for people who aren't necessarily fans.
Exactly.
It's just to get the word out.
Yeah.
What else is going on?
I was just going to add, though, just one final bit to that. For example, the Chamber of Secrets. Say you're just the moviegoer. You're going to look at that clip and you're going to say, "Wow, they're going back to somewhere that they went in the second movie." So, it probably ties it together if you're not somebody who's read the books. So, I think the advantage of it, though, Eric, is that they're just promoting the film. That's what it comes down to. This is their last film, and they're going all out to put as much out there as possible to drive people to the theaters. That's what it is.
And yet they won't even put the title in the poster. Because they're going all out to promote this film, but yet they just show a picture without the title.
We're going to agree to disagree, and we're going to move on. And just don't look at any more clips, because I'm sure there's going to be more that come out before the movie is released. ABC Family is releasing some next weekend. So
is Larry King.
Thanks Larry King.
Forewarning.
Yes.
So don't go on MuggleCast.
I can't be alone. I cannot be alone in this.
I'm sure you're not. There are plenty of people in the comments and on Twitter and on Facebook who definitely agree with you. But one thing that they all want to do is check out the live stream for the Deathly Hallows Part 2 world premiere next week.
They're showing the first hour of the film right before the live show.
July 7th, I think that is next Thursday. It's going to start at 11 a.m. Eastern. Google what time that is in your part of the world, because that's the question we always get. What time is that where I live? Well, where do you live? And Google where you live and do the conversion.
Yeah. And we'll tweet when it starts on the MuggleNet Twitter. We'll tweet, hey, the stream is starting. So if you follow twitter.com/MuggleNet, you'll,
well, won't you be there?
You won't miss it.
Aren't you going to be at the world premiere, Andrew?
Yeah, I don't know I'm going to try to be on camera, like flashing the camera and doing inappropriate things. I don't know if I'm actually doing the red carpet. That may be somebody else from MuggleNet, but yeah, we may tweet some pictures from the actual scene.
From MuggleNet Live.
Somebody else from MuggleNet. Who else is there?
Well, Richard.
Ah.
Yeah.
Cool.
He may be, he has first priority to do it, and we'll see, what other access we get. But, yeah, so we'll be covering all that when it happens.
Yes. Follow twitter.com/MuggleNet Live.
MuggleNet Live. Yeah, and we'll plug it on the MuggleNet Twitter too.
Okay, and the last bit of news here, AMC Theaters is going to be playing all 8 films. Is anyone of our group actually going to be attending something like this, that's a lot of time to spend in a movie theater.
Yeah. Well, what AMC is doing, they're doing 2 films a day leading up to the film release. So I think it starts on like a Tuesday. But I'm just wondering, and then there's at least one theater in Texas, not AMC, that is doing a marathon, all 8 back to back. It starts at like 4 a.m. and goes through the entire day. I'm just wondering, like, do people, like, it's a good promo idea and all that, but do people really want to do this? Do people really want to sit there and watch all 8 films in a theater, go to a theater 4 times in 1 week to watch 2 films a day, or sit there for like 18 to 20 hours watching every movie back to back? Does this sound appealing to anyone?
Well, so how I would justify not doing it is that, you know, each film, different director, they're not really, they don't flow together as well as the books do. So I could justify not going to see the movies beforehand because we know that this 8th film is going to be completely different from the previous films. You know, you're not going to get the same kind of sense of continuity and growing up as you would if you did a reread. But, I mean, you guys understand there are quite a few fans who do a reread where they'll read all the books before seeing the latest film. You know, isn't that the same thing? Isn't that about, you know, and isn't it quicker to go and see all the movies back to back than it is to read all the books back to back?
I just think you can watch them in the comfort of your own home without having to drag yourself to a movie theater 4 days in a week, or, you know, camp out in a movie theater for an entire day.
But I just recently saw the Lord of the Rings extended editions in theaters, they were 4-hour movies. But that was split across 3 weeks. So it's obviously a little bit different. But the theater is special. The theater is a huge, huge screen. And it's, you know, the way that certain films were meant to be seen.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that there's like a community aspect in going to the theater with your friends. But that said, I wouldn't do it. I attended a rewatch of movies 4, 5, and 6 leading up to Deathly Hallows Part 1, and it was exhausting. It was 5-6 hours, and I was pooped afterwards. So
now I would like to see more theaters offer just Part 1 before the midnight premiere of Part 2. So you start watching Part 1 at like 9 p.m. or 9:30. Take a little 20-minute break, you come back in the theater, and you get Part 2. That would be great.
Yeah, that makes a lot of
hours.
sense.
Yeah, it does. And Andrew, you and I both said, you know, in our short review show from the preview that we had seen, that these movies flow together. You know, Part 1 and Part 2 are going to really flow together very well.
Absolutely.
Well, here's the important question, though, for the people who do go to those back to back to back all the way through and watch the final film. Are they feeding you at all? Like, if you pay this all-inclusive price, does the movie theater feed you throughout the day? Or are you on your own?
I mean, they probably may have like an intermission between films, so you have like enough time to go out and get yourself a bite to eat or something. And I mean, most theaters are generally in like a shopping center or something too.
Please visit our concession stand.
Yeah. Bring
Let's go
a lunch.
to the lobby.
Here, the one doing the major marathon is the Alamo Drafthouse in Austin, and it starts at 4:30 a.m. on July 14th, and they will play all 8 films in a row. It's time, so Part 2 will screen at midnight, of course.
I admire them.
Yeah,
You said
really
the
cool
Draft
theater,
House,
by the way.
though?
Yeah,
The Draft House?
Yeah.
So is that like alcoholic beverages?
No, it's just the name of their theater.
Is it really cold in there from time to time?
It's $70 for a ticket to this thing.
$70.
Jeez.
Yeah, there's
Gotta
an
be
IMAX
food.
actually.
Memories aren't cheap.
Memories are not cheap. My cousin emailed me just yesterday actually and told me that the IMAX in my hometown of Reading, Pennsylvania is doing it. A rewatch. They're spreading it across 3 nights, but I think he said tickets are only $10 to see all the films. I'm going to double check that, but that would obviously be a tremendous value to go and see the films in an IMAX for cheap. But they're doing a rewatch. So there are other theaters out there, non-AMC, but it's really kind of spread out, kind of random. But
By the way,
it seems like a good opportunity for people who want to do it.
By the way, at LeakyCon, they're not allowed to talk about this on the website because of the rules and stuff, but I'm pretty sure we can. Deathly Hallows Part 2 will be premiering at LeakyCon at... Matt already has an angry look on his face. He's
No,
like,
I'm not. I'm like you're looking at me like you're like I'm gonna say
like
something.
you're gonna be pissed. It's going to premiere at I think 6 p.m. on July 14th. We get to watch it really early at LeakyCon, which is really cool.
I'm pretty sure we actually can't tell anybody just yet.
No, we can. They can't post about it on their site. You can talk about it. It's just, like, they can't officially talk because it's
they
like
said
a
in their
private
email
screening.
they said in their email that we have to swear them to whoever we tell to secrecy. So listeners, MuggleCast listeners, you are sworn to secrecy.
Well, let's double check that before I release it. But I'm pretty sure. I think that was before Melissa was talking about that. Eric, that was when they hadn't announced it on LeakyCon's site yet. I'll double check it, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'll email her, make sure. Okay, anyway, so that's it for news this week. You know, besides the billion other stories you can go and see on MuggleNet.com. We also just wanted to talk about expectations for the film now. I mean, the first movie came out in 2001. It's been 10 full years now. And we're at this place in time where we're about to experience the final movie. A lot of people are a bit sad, but at the same time, a lot of people are really excited. I personally am excited for this franchise to wrap up. It's going to be a very interesting feeling with all 8 Potter films out. Mm-hmm. So, what are your expectations going into this final movie?
I'm trying to find the best word for it, but my guess would probably be closure. Just to have it end full circle. I just saw a clip of the Chamber of Secrets scene that they released, and it just made me even more excited about it because I got to see a set piece from 4 or 5 films ago. So
6.
6. So I'm really just excited to see everything come together and be come full circle and complete. So I'm really excited.
Micah, what are your expectations, Mr. Micah?
Well, I mean, I really expect it to be the best film of all 8 of them. And I know I was pretty critical when it came to Deathly Hallows Part 1. But I'm not going into Part 2, with the same sort of mindset after having seen Part 1. I've watched Part 1 over a bunch of times since that show that we did. And I think I was a little too overly critical of it. But just from everything that we've seen, and that's part of the reason why WB releases everything that they have, is so that people can get excited for the upcoming film. And I think that they've done a great job getting people ready. I mean, this is it. Everything comes to an end. All the questions are answered, and we finally have that last piece to be able to watch. So not just pick up a book and read. You can finally watch it on screen. And, I'm really, I'm pumped up for it.
I'm expecting to see the best acting from all of the actors and the best explosions. I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm. I just genuinely hope that nobody really feels left down. I hope that every fan goes and sees it and just, feels closure. I think that's a really important thing too. And we'll talk about this more when, at our live show at LeakyCon when we're doing our big review. But on twitter.com/MuggleCast earlier today, we asked people, what are your expectations for the film? Wickman said, I try not to have any expectations, but some of my favorite parts are in the film, so I'm happy. Some things still bother me, though. This is a weird Twitter name. I am the bra, writes, from what I've seen, looks great. They have stayed true to the book, devoting 2 hours for the battle scene. I have high expectations. Damin Chips wrote, I expect part 2 to be nothing short of amazing. I am so excited it's unhealthy. Lynn2223 says, I've avoided all the promo stuff like the plague, but based on the trailer alone, it looks like the epic finale the series deserves. Christy Vorkos writes, I'm really looking forward to an incredible final movie of the series. It will be a great movie, even if things have changed. And finally, Kelsey0403 writes, I stopped watching all the promotional material. After they showed the forest scene in the trailer, I said I'd seen enough. So generally, everybody's really happy. I mean, I really didn't read much about people being sad. something that's been around for 10 years, it's kind of just time. This franchise has not been rushed in any way, shape, or form. There's still a lot to look forward to in the Harry Potter fandom between Pottermore.
Do you think that's why that you're no longer hearing about? Because I used to hear about people who were really upset that Harry Potter's ending, and the first posters that said it all ends, everybody was upset. But now with the announcement of Pottermore, do you think people were a little bit more able to come to peace with the end of the films? I mean, the films are only one aspect of the series, right?
Yeah.
I think also people have been, getting themselves in the frame of mind about it ending, and have learned to just to not be upset about it, and just to take it,
be prepared.
Yeah. It's better to enjoy it rather than to be emotional about it.
Yeah.
I mean, sad about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't really know what there is to get sad about, but I don't know, maybe that's just my own take on it, but and I think the announcement of Pottermore, though, was timed not to take anything away from Deathly Hallows Part 2, but to do exactly what you guys just said, and that is continue it on. The movies are not the end. There is more Potter beyond July 15th, and J.K. Rowling has seen to that.
That said, do you guys expect to be emotional at the end of the film, come the end of the film? Are you expecting to be moved? I mean, there's a certain... Now, we know that the Potter, the world isn't ending. Potter's still going on. But it is still the end of an era. It is the end of these, first round, I should say, of film adaptations. Will you be sad because of that? Or, will you be so detached from it that you don't anticipate being upset? Not even a little bit moved now?
Seeing it with your friends, I think that helps a lot. Because everybody's kind of feeling the same way. At LeakyCon, it'll be very interesting. At all these midnight screenings across the world, it'll be very interesting. I just hope everybody supports each other, Mm-hmm. I know your answer, Eric. All I heard during the test screening was from you.
Aww.
I'm not convinced that was me.
I thought you fessed up. Well, I exaggerated slightly, but
I'm denying it now.
Yeah, you're in denial. I'm not going to sit next to you. I don't need those noises interrupting my movie going experience.
I'm going to bring a recorder in, and I'll record you guys crying then.
I'm sure there are going to be moments during the film that are like that. I mean...
Are you going to cry, Micah?
I don't know. You never know.
Whoa. I didn't even expect
Micah's
that
keeping an open mind.
Oh,
Man.
Micah sniffles.
But, Andrew, you brought up seeing it with your friends. I mean, the four of us and others, would not be friends right now if it wasn't for this series.
Right.
That's true.
We wouldn't even know each other.
And we've discussed we wouldn't have known each other, which, I still don't know if that would have been a good or bad thing. But I think, the fandom, as we've talked about before on the show, on the website and in various ways, is such an important thing to a lot of people, because a lot of people met through the fandom. And by the fandom, I mean, through MuggleNet, through MuggleCast, through all the websites and podcasts, and not even just the people who work on them, but, communities like MuggleSpace. You meet people through there.
Well, you hear stories, too, at a lot of these conventions, people who have met, they've gotten married, they've had kids, and it's all because of this series. It's kind of crazy.
It is crazy. Mm-hmm. All right, well, we're going to talk a little more about the movie in a bit, but first we wanted to update everybody on Pottermore. Our last episode was all about Pottermore. We were streaming live on Ustream as it happened. It was 4 a.m. on the West Coast. It was 7 a.m. on the East Coast. It was a good time had by all, I thought. We had quite a few listeners. Thanks to everybody who tuned in live. We had, I think, close to 4,500 people listening live at one point, which was great.
It was over 5 at one point.
We didn't expect that at all because it was just so early in the United States. But that was great. So after our podcast, J.K. Rowling did hold a surprise press conference about Pottermore, and she gave a few more specific details about it. For one, We know now that Pottermore, when it opens to the public in October, it will have 18,000 new words from J.K. Rowling. That's about, I think, a quarter of Sorcerer's Stone. So you're getting like an extra 25% of Sorcerer's Stone, through new information that J.K. Rowling has been hoarding, like she said, and also, new information she wrote up just for Pottermore, which is awesome, I think.
Right. And she also said that 18,000 is only 1/3 of what she plans to write for Pottermore.
I'm just overwhelmed. I'm completely overwhelmed. This is going to be totally awesome.
And, the first book comes out in October on Pottermore, and then there's 6 more books that are going to be released. And, so Pottermore it will continue to be updated throughout the next few years. I mean, I would say this is going to be happening through 2013, 2014.
It'll be something nice to look forward to where, we'll, not like we'll go our own separate ways, but every couple months we'll just have this new content to really pour through. And, it'll be like a new book to read from our favorite author, only it's the old books, but with new, fun facts and all those histories. It's a really great way to experience Potter. I'm really happy with everything I've heard about Pottermore.
I have a question about Pottermore, actually, and I don't know if you guys answer this, but is Pottermore going to be purely Flash?
Yes.
Because I want to use it on my iPad.
I'm sorry, it will not be accessible on your iPad, but, never say never, in the words of Justin Bieber, so.
Or Steve Jobs.
Are you saying J.K. Rowling launched a war against Mac? Against Apple?
No, you can
J.K.
use
Rowling
it on
versus
Apple, just not iPad.
We all know she's a Windows user anyways.
Because iPad does not have Flash, and, for a site that's as intense as Pottermore in terms of the experience, I think they thought Flash would be the best choice.
Do we have any more details about that Sony, partnership to create the new technology that they're using? Because it's like cutting edge, right? Isn't it?
It is, well, no, I don't think there's anything really cutting edge about it. I think Sony is the partner that's going to help distribute the ebooks primarily. I think that's their main purpose.
Oh, okay, cool.
Here's
Some
what it
other
says.
things.
Oh, I was going to
Okay.
read what it said on the website.
Sure.
It says, as a leading company in entertainment and electronics, including games and digital books, Sony is proud to partner with J.K. Rowling to create this interactive storytelling experience. Sony's philosophy of make-believe is woven throughout the Pottermore journey, where users are inspired to believe that anything they can imagine, they can make real. Through Pottermore, Sony will be able to reach both current and future generations of Harry Potter fans and introduce them to products and services beyond their imagination.
Anything we can imagine,
Sony can make real.
Wow.
They're magical.
I have a list for Sony.
Here are a couple other things from the Pottermore press conference. So we learned a little more about how Pottermore works. You will follow the story chapter by chapter, get sorted
Where'd
into
they
a
get
house.
that idea?
Get sorted into a house, get a wand. One of 33,000 possibilities for a wand, which is cool. And also, I'm very happy about being able to be sorted and get a wand, because I feel like this is finally everybody will get sorted into a house in an official manner, because J.K. Rowling developed this sorting process herself. So you will be getting sorted the way Joe thought, the way you truly would be sorted if you were a character in the books.
Yeah, thank God, because I'm tired of all these other ones online asking
Matt,
me
do
stupid
you feel
questions
snaky?
like, "What's your favorite character?" Or if you found $1 on the street, would you use it for personal gain? Would you be brave and turn it in?
Right.
Or would you want to read the bill? I mean, it's like stuff like that.
Actually, I think the sorting out process is going to have questions like that.
It is, but J.K. Rowling made it.
I'm saying like completely obvious.
Yeah, she said that you're
what
not
the
going to be
outcome
able
would
to
be.
trick the system.
And you won't be able to go back either unless you create an entirely new account. So once you're sorted into a house, you cannot change it for that account. I know
awesome.
personally, if I get sorted into Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw, I'll be disappointed, but at the same time, I'll be like, whatever, Joe says so okay.
You'll be
Yeah,
Slytherin, Andrew.
Kind of the definitive sorting there.
Here's something interesting. Joe did not rule out the possibility of a physical encyclopedia down the road, which I thought was interesting because I thought this was I thought Pottermore was the encyclopedia, really. I thought this was the way she wanted to do the encyclopedia, but apparently not, so that's good news.
Thank God.
Yeah, and I think it also gives her the opportunity to donate the proceeds to charity, which is something that she had talked about from the very beginning. I think she mentioned that in the interview or the press conference when she spoke, that, you know, that was going to be a project that was solely going to be for charity.
J.K. Rowling downloaded ebooks for the first time this year and loved it. 1,000 books in your pocket, she wrote. She said, which is nice, but I have a hard time believing for some reason that Joe. I don't know. I have a hard time watching Joe use a Sony e-reader, like picturing that in my head. But hey, I'm sure she had to try it out to try the Harry Potter reading
She got a
experience,
free
so-
copy or 10 copies or 100 copies.
Yeah, I don't know.
Here's the thing: do you think that they'll do like adult versions for the ebooks as well, or will everybody get the wonderful, wonderful pictures and letters and illustrated like the American editions? Do you think Joe prefers the American editions? Do you think
Well,
she doesn't
ebooks-
prefer the
most-
American editions?
Most ebooks do not have pictures, so I don't think you're going to be seeing chapter pictures like you did in, the U.S. editions.
Mm.
Yeah.
Really? Most ebooks don't have pictures?
No. They could if they
That's
wanted to, but
boring.
I mean, I've never downloaded a picture ebook,
Man. Interesting.
and that's pretty much it. She said that one of the new pieces of content you'll be getting is a lot more on McGonagall, specifically her backstory, her childhood, ministry career, and early heartbreak. So we're going to be learning about the love that McGonagall had experienced, her love life. And also, well, I mean, we're not going to be experiencing her. Never mind.
The 116-year-old
in flash
virgin.
form.
We're also going to learn more about how Vernon and Petunia met at work. And that backstory will be on Pottermore. So,
Well, that'll be interesting.
interesting stuff like that that's kind of a companion to what you're reading. So I would assume chapter 1, when you see the Dursleys, maybe that's when Joe will insert that new content. And by the way, when you are going chapter by chapter through the book on Pottermore, you're not reading the book. I mean, you could sit there and read it if you wanted, but the book isn't there. What you're going to be reading, I believe, is like a summary of sorts. And then if there's new information, it'll be included there, as well as those illustrations that we've been seeing, stuff like that.
I really hope that once the seventh book gets released, there'll be like an extra like epilogue encyclopedia where you can branch out and see what happens to the characters later.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Like,
Yeah.
I want to know what happens when Hermione meets her family again.
Well, so
Stuff
do
like
I,
that.
but that's like 3 years away.
Well, we we as Harry Potter fans have learned to be patient for waiting for stuff.
That's true, man. That's very true.
So those are the latest Pottermore updates. Again, a beta will be opening at the end of this month. July 31st is when a beta will be opening. They will be giving out 1 million invites. So I think all people listening to MuggleNet and MuggleCast, you'll know exactly when the beta opens up. So I think you'll be able to easily become one of the first million.
J.K. Rowling is such a tease, isn't she?
Yeah, it's been a long, drawn-out process, hasn't it?
Yeah, she.
Would we have it any other way?
No.
No.
This is what we
As
expect from her.
fans?
Yeah, but what I want to know is, are you going to have to unlock things? You know, when you're talking about backstory on McGonagall or Petunia and Vernon, is that
I
stuff
sure
you're going to
hope
have
so.
to
I sure don't
work
hope
hard
so.
to reveal, or is it just going to be like, hey, click
I hope
here?
not.
No, I hope not. I'll lose interest by the time it happens.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
going to go on another freaking scavenger hunt across the whole World Wide Web just to find out how Vernon and Petunia met, okay?
Well, yeah, I mean, you won't have to go outside of Pottermore, I don't think, but maybe, I don't know how it's going to work.
Click 3 times on the Christmas tree and the green lights, and then an elf
Well,
appears, and the elf...
Actually, I think during the demo that they did at the press conference, like, you had to, like, click on a boot, and it kind of just unlocked something,
no,
but it's
not again!
but it's not like a brick pattern, at least, so.
Not again!
Okay, so again, that's the Pottermore stuff. We will be keeping everybody updated on Pottermore as we learn more information about it, so keep checking MuggleNet.com for all the information you need. Back to the movie release. I wanted to talk about box office predictions. It seems to be becoming more and more clear that Part 2 will probably take the record for top Harry Potter film out of all 8.
Opening weekend or overall?
I would say everything.
Is the first one still in the running for that? Where does the first film stand? I feel like the first film was more successful than some of the sequels, right?
Has made $974.7 million. It's the number 9 movie of all time.
0.7.
Yeah. So where does that? But so
that's number 1. Deathly Hallows Part 1 is number 11.
Oh,
with
so
954.5, so it's not far off.
Essentially, the last film is going to have to surpass the first film.
I think so too.
It will. The thing you have to remember with Part 1 is they lost a lot of money not making it in 3D.
Oh, you mean Part 1?
That's true too.
Oh, are we talking? I'm talking about Sorcerer's Stone, not DH Part 1.
Right, but I'm saying Part 1 would probably be higher in the top 10, not outside the top 10 if they had made it in 3D.
Oh, higher ticket sales, right, for the 3D.
Sorcerer's Stone is number 9 all time.
I think people, even like people who aren't fans, maybe who even haven't seen a Harry Potter movie before, they're just going to want to see how it ends. So I think they're going to go to the theater just to see, what happens, how they wrap up this ginormous franchise, because they've been hearing about it for 10 years.
It's very true. There's never been a better time, especially with Pottermore just around the corner. Just around the corner, I mean, a couple months from now. There's never been a better time to go to a theater. And
I think we talked about this a little bit on another show, but from what I remember, there's nothing opening that weekend that's going to really compete with it at all.
Oh, no. Nothing can ever really compete with Potter. There is Winnie the Pooh. That's coming out the same weekend.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Not the smartest.
It looks good, to be honest with you.
No, it does look
that's
really
coming
cute.
out already?
Yeah.
Wow. That's one of those, you just don't see posters for that. Or maybe you do, and I missed every single one of them. But there are those films that are like sneaker films, where they just show up. Like the new movie with Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman that's coming out. Standees happen in theaters like 2 weeks before the actual movie. Just comes out of nowhere. Completely out of the blue. No idea. Winnie the Pooh, you'd think they would have had trailers for and teasers for months and months and months and months ago, right?
Well, no, they did. I think the trailer was released a good.
It was
a while ago.
Released a while ago.
Oh, that probably is just me. Then I need to start setting Apple as my.
Well, there's only been one
homepage.
trailer. There's been one trailer, one poster.
Is everyone in agreement that Part 2 is going to be the top Harry Potter film of all time when everything's said and done? Not just opening weekend, just overall.
Box office wise?
Yes.
I'm skeptical. If none of the other Potter films have surpassed the first one, then Deathly Hallows has. I mean, obviously with the 3D ticket sales, then it's more likely.
I would be surprised if it didn't. I mean, I would think that it's going to move its way into the top 5 of all time.
The other thing to account for is inflation. I mean, Sorcerer's Stone came out when movie tickets were what? Probably $8 or $9?
$6.50.
Maybe $6.50, you think?
I still have my first stub, and matinees were $5.
Well, I think most people really just go by the ticket sales more than they go by money. Because of that, especially the 3D thing.
No, but I mean, we're looking at Box Office Mojo and whatnot, and they go by money, and
well, of course they go by money.
Stone is number 1,
right? Okay, but I generally think that's more fair if they go by ticket sales.
They should. No, I agree. But I think ticket sales wise, I think Sorcerer's Stone probably is huge, not even comparable to Part 1. In terms of money.
Oh yeah, but
or in terms of ticket sales.
No, I'm not saying I'm trying to go in favor of the latest films at all. I'm just saying I don't. You can't really compare with box office money, especially with movies that have been released like decades ago either. I mean, it just doesn't make sense that people like to judge it by that.
Okay, but just real quick, I mean, looking at all these other movies. Do you think it's going to eclipse the 1 billion mark? I mean, do you think it has a shot going to top 5, let's say? We think it's going to make it to the top 10, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, if you judge it by just by the books itself, I think the Part 2, I guess you could say, is the one that had the one that has the most potential to do that. Yep.
No, I agree, and Part 1 was in the top 10, I think, until Pirates of the Caribbean knocked it out. The newer one on Stranger Tides.
Oh, really? That movie's done that well?
Yep,
I'm a little surprised.
$987 million.
It really wasn't a bad movie, but not like the third one.
Yeah, it was.
But I don't know. I'm surprised it did that well, to be honest.
I'm surprised I lasted that long in the theater.
Okay, so a favorite segment before we wrap up today. I want to know everybody's favorite Harry Potter film before seeing part 2, and then, at the review show, we will, decide if our favorites still stay intact or if part 2 is truly our favorite film. Matt, your favorite film of the 7.
Threw this on me. Okay.
Well, it was in the schedule since we started.
Yeah.
Well, I knew about it a total of 30 minutes before we started.
It's not enough time. Do you want us to come back to you?
No, I'll say it. No, my favorite film is still Prisoner of Azkaban.
Eric?
Part 1. Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Micah?
Sorcerer's Stone.
Ooh. Yeah, I think I'm Sorcerer's Stone too, I think. There's just so much magic in it. But I think, does everybody think part 2 is going to be their favorite?
And you know what? I don't know. I think part 2, I'm still saying book 7. I mean movie 7. I still think part 1 and 2 are still the same film. So.
Yeah.
I can't.
That's true. I think I may end up saying part 1 and part 2, is my favorite film.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that would be generally the general consensus with everybody.
Okay, well, our next episode will be MuggleCast live in Orlando to review the film. Everybody going to LeakyCon, if you're listening to this and you're going to LeakyCon, we can't wait to see you there. We will be doing our podcast on Friday. Check the schedule Friday. It's on the main stage. It's actually just following a new Pottermore preview that's going to be happening. So we'll definitely talk about what was discussed at the Pottermore preview as well.
So that's 4 o'clock I think we're on?
Yeah, I think we're on at 4 and the Pottermore preview is 3.
3
so
to 3:50. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it's on just before.
Right on the heels. Yeah. The other thing, won't there be a Leaky Mug on Thursday? So that's actually the next time you can hear us is a Leaky Mug?
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to release it online in time, though, before...
Okay.
Yeah, so, but...
that's at 3, if people are looking
on
to
Thursday. Go. So Thursday at 3 is the Leaky Mug. Friday at 4 is the MuggleCast, and that's the MuggleCast Big Review Show. Of course, it will be online. Probably later that night we will get it online, because we know everybody will want to be, checking out our review, and we're going to be, getting thoughts from people in the audience as well. We'll complain, we'll cry, we'll celebrate, we'll cheer, we'll jeer.
You'll drink?
No.
Oh, sorry.
No, won't be doing that. and a lot more.
Speak for yourself.
What other?
I am speaking for myself.
Eric brought up on Twitter the other day the "Don't Let It Be July" song that I made. It was my second Wizard Rock single that I made for Book 7, the Book 7 release, but it stands true for July 2011 as well. So we're gonna play that today to wrap up the show. We hope everybody enjoys the movie. Please, sit back, relax. Don't worry about things that aren't going to be included and whatnot. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy it.
Andrew Sims, Season 2 of The Voice. Here we go.
On NBC. Thanks, everyone, for listening. I'm Andrew Sims.
I'm Eric Skull.
I'm Micah Tannenbaum.
And I'm Matt Britton.
Movie 8.
We'll see you next time for episode 2, 3, 4. It's all come down to this.
From Orlando.
Goodbye, everybody.
Enjoy
Orlando.
The movie.
Yes, enjoy.
Your attention, please. This message goes out to Miss J.K. Rowling. Don't let it be July. No. Not July, not July, not July. Don't let it be July. Here we go. We are hearing this tonight. You're probably gonna start a fight. I know this can't be right. Hey, Rowling, come on. I loved you endlessly when the books were spread out freely. So now it's time to hear some of your most loyal fans. I know that I can wait a little more. It ain't no lie. I wanna see you delay that book Don't let it be July. Don't wanna be a fool for you, and just another book in your series for clues. You may hate me, but it ain't no lie. Don't let it be July. Don't really wanna make it tough. I just wanna tell you that I've not had enough. It might sound crazy, but it ain't no lie. Don't let it be July. Alright, don't get it yet? Alright, let's break it down. This may be reminiscent of my MuggleCast rap. Was my #1 single, now don't forget. Listen up, Joe. Baby, come on. I want this book a little later. And so does each and every fan that believes the book will be once you've got more time.
I know that I can't take no more. It ain't no lie. I wanna see you.
Delay that book. Don't let it be July. Don't wanna be a fool for you. And just another book in your series for clues. You may hate me, but it ain't no lie. Don't let it be July. Don't really wanna make it tough. I just wanna tell you that I've not had enough. It might sound crazy, but it ain't no lie. Don't let it be July. You know what? Forget it. I'm giving up, I know for sure. I don't want to be the reason for next year no more. I'm checking out, I'm signing off. The fandom will be over and I've had enough. Joe, I don't want to be a fool in this series for clues. So you know what? I'm leaving you, Joe, behind. Don't make it tough, please. Joe, please. Joe. Not July.
Don't wanna be a fool for you. Just another player in your game for two.
Book 7, please. July 2008. July 2008. Don't really want to make it tough. I just want to tell you that I've not had enough. Might sound crazy, but it ain't no lie. Don't let it be July.